Good morning, rise and shine to the morning momentum, your daily dose of a comprehensive rundown of the top stories making the headlines. Today, as I had promised yesterday, we are having a guest in studio, and all we are going to do is to take a look at the weekly rundown, and this will be happening every Friday right here on the morning momentum, taking up the airwaves on the best youth television network in East and Central Africa, Younib TV. So across this week, we saw a lot of things, a lot of stories making the headlines, from retired President Uhuru crying that the government has not been able to disburse the funds to the office of the retired president. And then definitely we saw the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua traveling to Mombasa through a commercial flight, which also sparked reactions, and the debate was discussed in Parliament. And then definitely the big thing happened yesterday. The budget 2024-2025 was read. So we are going to decode all this right here on the Morning Momentum. Use the hashtag The Morning Momentum at Younib MEDIA TV at Alfonsoh Albakwekwe. My name is Alfonsoh Albakwekwe, and without further ado, let's get into this. My guest is George Akero. He's not here for the first time. Good morning, George.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fine. Welcome to the Morning Momentum.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's start it over from what happened on Monday. The former President Uhuru Kenyatta's office, through the spokesperson Kanzedina, said that the government has been denying them what belongs to the office of the retired president for 2 years. Why did it take so long for the office to communicate to the public?
Well, first of all, I would say that the former president, they had an issue with the sitting president now. And when you look at this thing closely, it is like the sitting president is in a how do you call it? Is paying back. It's like he's paying back. He's showing Uhuru that is in power. Mm. And when the president was there and the vice president was Ruto, they had a lot of things were happening. Mm-hmm. They had wars within them here and there, left and right. And the sitting president is now paying back, and this one can be seen. I don't know, when you are the president, you have people around you. Uhuru had his people around him, he had his friends, people are really close to him. So sometimes we can rush to blame President Ruto, but maybe sometimes it's the people around President Ruto doing all these things. Well, is the president is giving orders, but at times is not in that. Mm. But because we are sitting outside and look at them, we say he is the one giving orders to these people not to pay, the government not to pay. Mm-hmm. But surely, Uhuru must be paid because it is constitutional that he has to be given all this. Mm. So I think President Ruto and his team is revenging. They are in a revenge spree.
What makes you think they are in a revenge spree?
Why now? Why not paying, but it is constitutional? That is the question we have to ask ourselves. Mm. Because when they are supposed to pay, why are not being paid? They are not paying now. Mm. They're supposed to pay. So that means it's a revenge.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, it's a revenge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The figures on what President Uhuru is asking the government to disperse is for the last 2 years.
Yes.
They said they have only received 28 million of that, and up to almost 1 billion shillings has not been disbursed.
Yes.
With your knowledge, what happens, because definitely we had the budget ready yesterday, what happens if a financial year passes and the funds have not been reimbursed? When we move to the next fiscal year, is that debt carried to the next fiscal year, or what happens to it?
This one will depend with the government, or will depend with the president himself. They can or they cannot. But let us ask ourselves. President Jomo Kenyatta was getting all this whatever. Same as to President Moi, same as to Kibaki. Why now Uhuru is not getting? That means that there must be. That's why we are giving the conclusion that President Ruto is revenging. If not, then, but probably they will have to pay, because they had a conversation the other day.
Good. Fast forward to that conversation. A committee was formed to address those grievances. Was it necessary to have a committee to address the grievances of the former president?
It was not necessary. These are constitutional. That is the right of the former president. Why commission? What are they going to discuss? Yeah. So
you're saying it was not necessary. And at the same time, so maybe what was supposed to be done? What was supposed to be done?
If this one is constitutional, and Kenya is a democratic country, to me, that is the right of Uhuru, and he must. And because it is political, there's some symbols of political in it. Maybe we have some political symptoms in it. Yeah.
Okay. There was an issue of former president wanting to be the tenant and the landlord at the same time. He wants to work from his own home, and he wants the government to be paying for rent at that home as his office. What do you think about that?
Alfonsoh, that is business, and you are allowed to do business, just like these premises. It can be yours. So can you give it out to Younib TV? You can't, because it's a business. So according to me, that is Uhuru's business. If the government would like to take it somewhere else, better. But maybe because the government also does business within itself. You cannot tell me that even President Ruto, he has some other premises and the government is using them. Just like there's some, we call it what? There's some estate here, belongs to Kibaki. And the government rented the houses for the police. So what makes the difference? Nothing.
Okay.
That is business.
In the Constitution, as you cited from these benefits, it is not written that the retired president will have an office of his own choice. But for the cars, it is the cars of his own choice. So where do we strike the balance between President Uhuru wanting to be a tenant and the landlord at the same time, when in the Constitution it clearly stipulates that it is an office but not of his own choice?
Alfonsoh, Kenya is Kenya, and we have been here. So when you are in power, you can easily abuse the Constitution, and they do. They do, we do. So Uhuru, because he was the president, he could do anything. And still, he sees the power. He still feels that power is there. Meanwhile, the sitting president is seeing that we have to. It is not right for him to be his own landlord. Right? So, I think if they could have been friends, you could have not heard that. Because this one, we hear it now. Did you know that Uhuru is his own landlord? You didn't know. And because they are not friends, that one comes out. Yeah.
What was so hard for the former president to just pick a phone and reach out to the sitting president and air his grievances directly to the president, because he has direct access to the president. Why do you think they had to call for a press briefing? Do you think maybe they had tried reaching out and there was no action taken?
I believe Uhuru tried. The former president tried to reach out to President Ruto. As I told you before, when you are a president, the people who are around you, they can easily block the communication. Easy. Unless sometimes you jump up and say, I want to reach out. So, I don't think that Uhuru can just only use people like Ansedena to deliver the message to the president. No. He has tried. But because this thing is now out, it is easy. Now, president must respond because it is now in the public domain. But I know secretly, President Uhuru tried to reach out. But maybe several times.
They did. According to the spokesperson, Kanzedina, they said they accused the government of running away from formal communication and instead opting for verbal communication. Meaning there is no trail of what has been communicated. But anyway, let's wait and see the course that will take, because definitely a committee was formed. The president reached out to the former president to sort out those issues. Let's move forward to another story that was also in the headlines this week, and that was the deputy president traveling commercial to Mombasa to launch a project. What is your take on that?
Let me start it this way. The deputy president is now in a cry. He's crying and is looking for the sympathy. There's one thing that deputy president didn't know, and he found himself within it. Deputy president is not a politician. When you look at him, this guy is probably an administrator, but he found himself within the politicians. Just like, for example, you are a drunkard person and you found yourself within 10 pastors. What will they will confuse you. Some of them will say, kneel down, we pray for you, repeat after me. That is exactly what is happening to the vice president. So, he doesn't do it is like he's confused. And the politics needs a lot. One of the politicians, I don't know, he comes from Western Kenya, he says that wanasiasa ni mashetani. These people can dig a hole and you get inside the hole. They know very well that there is a hole ahead of you. They will trap you there and you will find yourself inside the hole. So Gachagua is inside the hole now. The vice president is now inside the hole. Even if they are trying to cover it here and there, it is now out. See, so using a commercial aeroplane to go to Mombasa, carrying a small bag, that is sympathy.
So you are saying
and
that everything
that is happening in the world of politics, it is planned. Like being Gachagua leaving the residence and carrying the bag. Why carrying a bag now?
So you are saying this is games being played?
These are games being played, my friend. These are politics.
And where is the game heading to?
Mount Kenya, I think Mount Kenya is, they are becoming, it is like they are suspicious. They are within the government that they are not sure. If you could listen to, is it Ntitijoro yesterday? He was telling the president that you are now using mtu wa kitandawili. Seeing that, according to them, it is like Ruto is president switching out of them. You see. Now, and that's why I'm telling you, politicians are very keen people. And remember, Our president is a good politician. Is a student of President Moi. Same as to Gachagua. So whatever he does, there must be something ahead of it. Now, like Gachagua, you know, when let me take you back. When President Kenyatta came in with Vice President, which was Ruto, this is what happened. Ruto realized that President Kenyatta is silent. Is a president who doesn't go far. So this is what he did. This guy started going around Kenya, and he started with the Mount Kenya. He really exhausted Mount Kenya. And that formula, probably, President realized that this man, if I don't start with him earlier, he will also destroy Mount Kenya. I'll destroy any other place. So Gachagua is now tamed now. This is the time he's being tamed. He will not get. The only thing is going to be confused. Maybe our village boy vile anasema that is now a village boy. And politics doesn't also needs church. Ati nimeenda ku fast Mount Kenya. No. Politics is you sit and plan. So he will have to do a lot. The vice president will have to do a lot.
Good.
Another thing, let him not outsmart the president. Let him keep his line, because he's dealing with a politician. Yeah.
For a leader of his caliber, George, if you agree with me,
yeah,
it is not correct for him to fly commercial. It is not. What do you think might have transpired for the deputy president to travel a commercial airline carrying a bag when we have vehicles assigned to him? He can access a very good helicopter to go to Mombasa, but we also what transpired.
Did he use Uber from his office to airport?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Did he have the bodyguards? Nobody knows. How did he reach there? That's what I'm telling you. Everything is politics is being planned. Because if it could have been Uber, we could see. So let us put it easy that the vice president is looking for sympathy. And this sympathy also let us not look at it here. It might be also a game plan between him and the president. Because the way they see Mount Kenya is like they are siding away. You know, the president was in Mount Kenya yesterday, didn't you?
Yes.
He didn't talk any politics. It was development and development. Why? We should ask ourselves these questions. So, the vice president, we don't know whether it is a game plan, whether it is true. But time will tell.
That's perfect. Yesterday I saw a very famous politician say on social media that probably it could be a game plan, as you are saying, that he's seeking for sympathy from the people of Mount Kenya to bring them together, and then he will take them back to the president way later when we are close to the elections. And I believe that is what you are trying to say there. And as you have said, time will tell. We are waiting to see the course that will take.
Yeah.
Well, we take a quick break right here on the Morning Momentum. We are coming back now up close and candid with the budget that was read yesterday. See you on the other side of this broadcast. Keep interacting with us at Younib MEDIA TV, at Alfonsoh Albakwekwe. Use the hashtag The Morning Momentum.
Wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Welcome back to the Morning Momentum. If you are just joining us, you are still rolling with the host with the most. Before we went on our break, I told you we are coming back up close and candid with the nitty-gritties of the budget 2024 that was read yesterday. I have a guest in studio. His name is George Akero, not here for the first time. And let's get straight into it. George.
Yes.
The budget was read yesterday. You saw how the figures look like. What do you expect from the budget?
First and foremost, this budget, it is a budget full of noise. There's a lot of noise. But when I was looking at it, I realized that, well, the budget is not good, I cannot say. I can say that. But the politicians also are trying to put some politics in it. Yeah, because the president is trying that we live within what we can get. But politicians are trying to maybe bring some politics in it. Just let us take the vehicle issues, cars, bringing cars and whatever is it, tax the vehicle. Well, it has been there. And we also cannot run this country without taxes. That we understand that. So what the president is trying to do, what the government is trying to do, is we live within our space without going outside and get.
Are we really living within our space, George?
We are.
Tell me how we are living within our space when the budget stands at 3.9 trillion. Let me get the figures correct, a minute. Okay, almost there. You are telling me we are living within our means, okay? Now, the budget is at 3.99 trillion shillings. That is the total budget, okay? Now, the target to be collected is almost 2.99 trillion shillings thereabout. We have a deficit of about 1 billion or lesser. Why did we budget for what we cannot afford? The targeted revenue collection versus the budget are not tallying. The budget is higher than the targeted collected revenue. So tell me how we are living within our means.
Look here, what is the population of Kenya?
About 50 million.
About 50 million. Now, about 50 million, look at it this way, that each and every constituency, or each and every whatever, if you calculate this money and distribute it, deficits are each and every constituency, how much are we supposed to get?
No, it varies. We don't get equal allocation.
We don't get equal allocation. Then now, for us to live within our means, one thing, we must get more. We must have more collections. Yeah.
So we must have more collections.
Yeah.
So basically, we are going to borrow more to sustain ourselves within the budget that we have designed for us as a country. We have to borrow because they say definitely the deficit is going to be borrowed from domestic and definitely international.
Yeah.
Why do we keep borrowing to repay debts?
And that's why, you see, the government is pushing us in tax so that we don't borrow. You know, now we are crying. But when the changes come, when we are making changes, people must cry. So according to me, I would prefer this budget, let it be so. So that the generation coming, they will get it easier.
What is the guarantee of light at the end of the tunnel, George?
Let us use it wisely. Corruption aside, and let us allocate them to what it's supposed to do.
Corruption has been a thorn in the flesh for many decades right here in the country. Why are you saying corruption aside when we know it's actually next to impossible to achieve zero corruption?
We are the people, and we can train ourselves not to be corrupt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the vehicle taxes that you had touched on a while ago.
Yeah.
In the finance bill, there was a cap of a maximum of 100,000 shillings. Okay? That one was for vehicles above 4 million.
Yes.
In the budget that was read yesterday, the cap has been removed and 2.5% cuts across any kind of vehicle, no matter the value of that vehicle. So say, for example, if your car is 10 million shillings, you will have to pay a tax of 250,000 shillings. Why is it that we are seeing a difference in what is in the bill and what is in the budget?
Just as I've said, we have to live within our means. And the only focus, the vanishing point there, is we live within our means. The president is trying, or the government is trying that we don't go outside to look for money. So all these things, let them hurt them.
But we are still going out to look for money. You've heard we are going to borrow to...
Now, for now, we are going to borrow. But we are training ourselves so that next time we don't borrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our debt stands at 11 trillion shillings.
Good collection, we will pay.
That's quite interesting. Now, let me take you through some figures here. The total budget is 3.99 trillion shillings. The government recurrent expenditure is 1.62 trillion shillings, okay? Well, interest and pension, 1.2 trillion shillings.
Yes.
The counties have been allocated 400.1 billion shillings, and the contingency fund, 4 billion shillings. Now, definitely in any budget, we have winners.
Yes.
And we have losers. Who are the winners in the budget 2024-2025?
I've not gone through it keenly, but the winners should be... One thing is the government is not doing business with anybody. Government must collect the tax from the people, isn't it? So the winners, the government takes the day.
Okay.
Government takes the day. Because at the end of the day, when we are pushed, at the end of the day, all of us we are going to be the winners. Yeah.
George, for example, I know you like the other drinks, not milk and honey. Are you aware that you are going to dig deeper into your pocket to get at least a bottle on top of the table?
Better I dig it today deeper, but tomorrow I don't dig it deeper. Even my siblings will not dig it deeper. Because when I dig it deeper, there's something I'm covering. That will make my generation a better way.
There is something that has been happening with the budget over the years. it keeps on going up, and going up. Would you mind telling us why?
We are growing. Population, we add the number of population we add. The country is expanding. We will be adding other constituencies. Other counties will be there. So it must go up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. The finance bill will be tabled in Parliament next week on Tuesday. Yesterday you saw what happened, reactions from Kenyans, people posting numbers of various leaders on social media, to be precise on X, formerly Twitter, and asking their fellow counterparts to hold them responsible and accountable to vote the finance bill no. I think many people must have confused reading of the budget and passing of the bill.
Yeah.
What should we expect on Tuesday?
Like I said before, this budget is full of politics. Alphonse, how many of us have read the budget? And how many of us, they don't understand anything? They understand zero out of it. Probably, those who don't understand it is more than the people who understand it. You know, when you tell a layman, like now you tell them that bread will be 80 shillings, they will make noise.
Okay.
And they will make a lot of noise that, how can bread be 80 shillings? Because they don't understand budget itself. So politicians are using the budget to lure their constituents who don't understand even the budget. Better some of us will read them. Even some of us, we don't read them. We just argue, oh, the budget is bad. Oh, budget is so expensive. Oh, what. But we don't read it. Another thing, we don't see ahead of us. We don't see our front. The only thing we hear from what the politicians are saying. Budget is bad. This budget is not. This budget is going to kill us. Killing who? They get their salaries. They do their corruptions. Is killing who? They are getting their way out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility is it to make the people you are saying are not understanding the budget and maybe the finance bill? Whose responsibility is it to make people understand what is in those documents?
It is politicians.
Which politicians?
The people we elect. See, they are there in the parliament. They're supposed to come back home and tell them, this is the budget. This is what we are supposed to do. This is, when we do this, this one will happen. When we don't do this one will happen. These people, they are only standing small things. That they say what you want here. When they talk about unga, ati unga itakuwa 500, everybody will, the people down there will make a lot of noise. They don't understand why is the unga is becoming 500. Not that I'm supporting the budget. I also have issues with it. But because the politicians, they are not telling their people what is in there and why is the budget is so. That's not the problem. Yes. Because they are waking up telling, don't vote it, don't vote. You don't vote what? You don't vote what you don't know. Vote what you know.
You know, George, it's quite saddening that some MPs say they have not gone through the bill.
Surely, they have not.
And these are people who are elected to go and represent people in the parliament and work for them. What are they doing?
Let me tell you, Alphonse, almost 50% of those people, they have not read. I can quote some of them, but I don't want to do that. They don't have time to read these things. When you look at their social media, whatever accounts, they are just celebrating. Some of them are just milling around. They are just partying around. They don't have time to read.
Could that be the missing link to why we end up voting for things that really come back and affect us way later?
That is the point. That is the point.
So you are saying some MPs vote for what they don't understand?
They don't. They will there and they will vote yes or no, and they don't understand what they are voting for. That is the point.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Kenyans are really worried about Tuesday. If you look at the patterns and what even transpired yesterday, there's a gentleman who tried to interrupt the CS Treasury while they were presenting the budget. Definitely the situation was contained. And that is just one example of many Kenyans who are resenting from this whole issue of the budget and the finance bill. And people are worried that definitely the finance bill is going to pass. That is what people are saying on the ground. I have been on the ground with the people while doing news, and I understand what really the ground is saying. What should we expect come Tuesday?
Politicians are cheeky, very cheeky people. And we are here today. On Tuesday, most of them will not be there. They are making a lot of noise here. Don't vote, don't vote. Opposition are saying don't vote. But most of them are not going to be there.
They are not going to be present.
They are not going to be present. Or they will disappear. You know, sometimes they behave like kids. You go inside the latrine and you lock yourself there. And you don't come. You see? So, automatically, because wananchi, we are disparate. People are disparate. Nobody is telling you the truth. You force yourself to get the truth out of it. Meanwhile, the other end, they are making a lot of noise. Don't vote it. We are not, don't. Even the people who are saying, telling their leaders don't vote, they don't understand it. They get it from their leaders. This budget is not good. Let us not vote it. And those who are making noise, they are going to vote this thing. I'm telling you.
Perfect, George. We'll sit down here on Wednesday next week and talk about what will be transpiring on Tuesday.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we are still continuing this conversation on Monday. My director tells me we need to give way for the next people to use this space. Now, thank you so much for choosing to stay with Younib TV, and particularly the Morning Momentum right here on the best youth television network in East and Central Africa. This is Younib TV. I have been your host, Alfonsoh. See you next week on Monday, same time, same place. Until then, do have a beautiful weekend and take care of yourself.
Audio Jungle.